I put up a poll asking how much of trade chat people feel is taken up by Riven trades. This led to a number of comments like, "Don't use trade chat, no matter what." "I barely use trade chat as it's a surefire way to get scammed. I've long since given up on trade channel." This isn't a new observation, but let's not rely on feelings, not on this channel. I've dug into the real data to properly answer, is trade chat a scam? I'm Nick Engineer, let's solve a practical problem. Alright, so this could be a touchy topic. Plenty of people hate trade chat, many never even look at it, yet many love to defend it. But before anyone makes an opinion on the entire channel, it'd be best to see what's actually happening there. One could perhaps compare and review the trades being offered in trade chat. This would of course require recording trade chat at different times and in different regions, transcribing the resulting offers that appear, and then analysing them in the context of what can be achieved elsewhere. So I did exactly that. After reviewing hundreds of messages covering the Europe, North America and Oceania regions, this is the truth about trade chat. In the poll I put out to the community, the general belief centred around half of trade chat being Rivens, with a slight leaning towards less than half. I can tell you that most of you are absolutely right. Of all the messages recorded, 40.1% of them included an offer to buy or sell one or more Rivens. Naturally, this means well over half of messages don't include Rivens at all, and some offers for Rivens included other items too. 34% of messages were people looking to buy things, 55% people looking to sell things, with 5% of messages from people looking to both buy and sell different items at once. There were also 3 genuine want to trade offers in my data, offers where the person both put what they had and what they were looking for instead of platinum in the same message. If you ever find yourself in this position, just sell what you have and buy what you need. That's literally the purpose of a currency, to split those trades up and make them easier. For commodities like normal mods, arcanes and prime parts, putting a price on them is trivially easy. Despite this, 50% of all messages sent did not include a price on their items. This is perhaps the laziest of all the issues that plague wading through trade chat. In the most charitable case, it's possible the person listing their offer has no idea what price to put down. Given how prices are readily available in many places, that's laziness. The more cynical reason to not have a price is to want other people to make the first offer. If it's below what one wants, reject it. Here the trader hopes they can get an offer that is better than they would have accepted.
"Hey, come make an offer on my prime parts." "What's that? You're going to offer me twice what you can buy it for from dozens of other people? Well, that's a win for me."
Even if there is a price given, this is no guarantee it's a deal. For all the offers made for a commodity with a price listed, less than a quarter of both buyers and sellers were within 10% of the average price on warframe.market. That is to say, over 75% of sellers were listing prices more than 10% higher, and likewise, most buyers were offering themselves more than a 10% discount versus the average. Now when it comes to trading, it makes sense to start at a personally favourable rate to get haggled down from. 10% isn't crazy, except it's not just 10%. More than half of all buyers were knocking more than 30% off the price in their offers, while more than half of sellers were adding over 50% on top of the average. I found sellers with markups of over 300%, selling an item for more than 4 times what you would pay on average on warframe.market. It gets rather hard to claim that's room for haggling when it's that far removed from the norm. Then there are the traders listing things both to buy and sell at the same time. Almost none of them were within 10% haggling distance of the average prices, with such players offering the absolute worst rates consistently of any type of trader. Putting all these offers together, half of them want you to send them an offer first, no doubt hoping you don't know enough about the value. Of those kind enough to list a price, 2/3 are slapping on a tax of more than 20% compared to just using warframe.market. Not even 1 in 6 listings of commodities with easily looked at prices come with an open and favourable offer. This isn't to say hilariously bad offers aren't found on that website, mind you. It's just that said offers sit alongside the far more reasonable ones with much greater visibility, and you can easily look at the statistics to get an idea of what values other people have agreed to trade at. Sure, you can open up trade chat and maybe see a couple offers for a prime frame you're looking to buy, if someone's even selling it. Alternatively, you can see dozens of offers on Warframe Market in seconds without having to aggressively filter a chat window. How about the things you can't so easily look up a price for? You know, ribbons. Well, for starters, only 40% of people selling ribbons were putting a price on them, and that often includes so-called god roll sellers. There is exceptionally little trade in trade chat for selling ribbons with a modest and advertised price. Void help you if you're looking to buy a ribbon for a non-meta weapon. We'll have a look at the generic buyers instead, where 60% of them put down a price. Offers to buy a Torrid ribbon were typically 500 platinum, whereas barring one single offer on warframe.market, all the others were listed for sale at 700 or more platinum. Glaive ribbon buyers were typically offering 400 platinum, when the market had them starting at 590 at time of checking. Latrum buyers were going as low as 50 platinum, when again the market started at 150 for the cheapest real listing. This is to be expected. A spread on prices is normal. People with platinum and time to spare will attempt to buy low and sell high, while people wanting to avoid the faff of trading facilitate that. The trader gets a profit for their time and investment. The seller gets a quick buck, and the eventual buyer has the convenience of the trader being available to sell the ribbon on the buyer's own time. A spread is not a scam. A scam is acting in a dishonest way to take money or something of value from others. This might be by putting a different item into a trade compared to what was offered, or intentionally only including one prime part when two of them are needed to complete the set, or someone simply lying about what is being traded. Deceit is required for something to be a scam. If someone offers you a price for an item, whether to buy or sell, then it's really up to you to at least do some research on what you're trading. Someone who goes blundering into trading without making a fair effort to learn about what they're trading isn't being scammed. They're just uninformed. With the power of warframe.market available to all, it is easy to be an informed trader, at least for all commodities in the game. It's definitely harder for non-commodities like ribbon trading, but then you can be pretty sure that the players posting "buying all ribbons 50 platinum" will only actually reply to you if you offer them a ribbon worth more than that. So given that warframe.market exists, with its competitive and transparent prices, where a buyer can avoid being overcharged and a seller can avoid being underpaid, why are there people in trade chat at all? Certainly when fewer than 1 in 6 messages contain a price close to warframe.market, are there really that many people haggling enough to bring those trades closer to the average seen on the website? Of course not. The players accepting those trades are the players that don't know any better. Most of the messages in trade chat are aimed at noobs. Buyer beware and seller take care. Trade chat isn't a scam, at least most of the time, but there sure are a lot of people there cosplaying as Nefanyo. Oh, and no, your region is neither better nor worse than the others for this. Despite checking multiple regions in their prime times, I found no significant difference in the quality of offers being made. Corpus ethics are global. Maybe these are the results you expected, maybe not, but at the very least, you're now armed with the factual data on just what trade chat contains, and why I too recommend you just don't go there. Don't even get me started on Maru's Bazaar. That's all from me for now though, so as always, be smart, trade fair, and fight well, Tenno.